Oh, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast, and I'm here to present you my NFL Week 2 quarterback and wide receiver picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all my NFL, MLB, and NBA videos. And if you haven't already, come check out my new website at www.dfscheatsheet.com. We have all the tools, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you need to help you compete with the pros day in and day out. So check it out, www.dfscheatsheet.com. So, I'm just going to get into these plays. I definitely think I really have some good picks for you going into week 2. Real quick, before I jump in this video, though, if you don't mind, please take that quick second. Click the like button for me down below. I appreciate that. Helps me out a lot. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm really liking Drew Brees going against Cleveland this week. Brees is absolutely pissed off. He lost last week to Tampa Bay, got blown out. He's at home. We know historically he's been better at home. But last week, he still had a monster week. He completed 37 of 45 passes, so a ridiculously good completion rate for 439 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like I said, now he's at home versus the Browns. He has Kamara and Thomas he's going to look to a lot. Those guys probably combined are going to get at least 25 to 30 targets themselves. He got some really good weapons. When they catch the ball in the open field, they can definitely do something, very positive. With no Ingram, they don't have that true, we're going to run the ball 20 times a game running back. Kamara is not that guy. I think he's going to get probably 13, 14 carries and then probably 10 targets. That's kind of, what I think of Kamara. So I definitely like Brees for your cash games this week if you're going to pay up at quarterback. Next, we'll move down a little bit. I really like Alex Smith this week going against Indianapolis, who just got torched by Andy Dalton. I think this is a solid spot. The Colts defense sucks. Dalton, he completed 75% of his passes last week. They got no pressure. The Colts defense got no pressure on him. He only got knocked down 3 times. And then Alex Smith last week, he had a solid outing, completed 70% of his passes for 21 for 30 with 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also ran, I think, for like 10 yards. So that gives you the extra point. Definitely like the fact Smith will take off and get a couple rushing yards. We've seen that last year. That's just the kind of guy that he is. At a 7,100 price tag, I think either you pay down for Alex Smith in your cash games or you pay up for Brees. Those are my 2 cash game plays that I'm really, really liking on the week. And if we want to look at my 2 GPP plays, first thing first, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson going against Tennessee. Tennessee, just their defense is horrible. It's not good at all. Deshaun Watson, he didn't look the best last week, but he played the Patriots and, they have a really good coach. They schemed him very well. 7,400. His price tag is definitely going to jump up. I definitely think it's a solid bounce back spot for him. He's cheap. He runs the ball. He ran it 8 times last week against the Patriots. He's getting Will Fuller back this week. And I expect that, wide receiver wise, I'm not gonna mention him with my wide receiver picks, but I definitely think for GPP, Watson, the Hopkins stack is a really, really good stack on this week. So I'm really liking Watson at this low price of only 7,400. My last quarterback, I'm going to quickly go over. I'm doing this for my boy Jeremy, a.k.a. DFS Dudes. He really, really loves Jimmy Garoppolo this week. 7,300. Garoppolo actually didn't have too bad of a game last week, but he was going against one of the top 5 defenses in the league in the Vikings. This week, I expect him to have a great week as well. He's going against Detroit. We've seen what happened to Detroit last week against a rookie. So Garoppolo, I think he's going to have a field day. Great GPP play. I definitely think you could stack him up with Kittle for your GPP play and get yourself a cheap tight end. That's kind of where I'm at for quarterback. I'm going to move on to running back now. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to move on to wide receiver. Sorry. But one thing I will note for running back, I did the running back video yesterday before we got some news. I just quickly want to mention at running back, I'm going to have to say that Coleman for Atlanta, the guy's an absolute lock, 5,900. Last week he got a rushing touchdown, still got us 11 points, and he was just spelling Freeman. This week there is no Freeman, 5,900. Love Coleman at running back. I definitely think that he's a lock for your cash game. So let's move on to wide receiver now. Surprise, Antonio Brown, the most expensive wide receiver on the slate. But, with no Bell, he picked up a couple extra targets last week. He actually got 16 targets. That's crazy. He caught 9 for 93 yards in a touchdown. I don't see much changing this week. I think that the Pittsburgh versus the Chiefs game is going to be a very, very high scoring game. Both defenses are not very good, so I definitely think both sides of the ball are going to put up a ton of points. Brown is the best wide receiver in the league. Love this spot for him. If you can pay up, I definitely think try to get him in your lineup. Next, we'll go down to Michael Thomas going against Cleveland. We just talked about what Brown did to Cleveland last week. Michael Thomas, I expect him to do the absolute same. We've seen what he did to the Bucs last week. He caught 16 passes. Yes, 16 passes for 180 yards versus the Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to tell me he's not going to get close to those numbers against Cleveland? No way. I absolutely love Thomas. So if I can't fit in Brown and I'm short $100, I would feel comfortable putting Thomas in instead of Brown. Or why not? We have some value. How about we try to fit both of these guys in our lineup for cash games? I think that would give you a really solid floor for sure. It's just all about if we have the value or not. Really liking Antonio Brown and Michael Thomas. I'm quickly, Hopkins, I told you for GPP, you can stack him with Watson. I think that's a really good GPP play. You could consider Julio versus Carolina. Without Freeman, they may look to throw the ball a little bit more. Julio, top 3 receiver in the league, solid spot. You could look at Keenan Allen. I mean, the guy, he's pretty much $1,000 too cheap. He's doing pretty much the exact same things as Thomas and Brown, but at an only $8,000 price tag. Last week, he got 11 targets, caught 8 of them for 108 yards and a touchdown. Very, very reliable guy. We know when he's on the field, Phillip Rivers has looked for him the past couple years. I definitely like Keenan Allen a lot. I think that he's going to be a low-owned guy that, you can save some money off of Brown and Thomas if you absolutely had to. But yeah, I like him a lot. And then we will work our way down a little bit. Next, I'm going to look at Emmanuel Sanders. I'm actually going to talk about both of these guys, Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. I like both of them a lot going against Oakland. Oakland got shredded last week by the Rams receivers, and I feel that the Denver receivers are actually a little bit better than the Rams receivers. So first I'll start with Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's the cash game play. He got moved back into the slot, which is his natural position throughout his career. He's always excelled in that slot spot. He got 11 targets last week, caught 10 of them for 135 yards and a touchdown. He was in the slot 70% of the time, so I like it a lot. Last week, Oakland got shredded by the Rams slot receiver in Kupp. He went for 5 catches, 59 yards and a touchdown. So I definitely think this is a great spot for Emmanuel Sanders, and he's a really good cash game play. If you want to pivot off him, you can look at his teammate. I think has a little bit more upside. Thomas is a little bit more of a bigger wide receiver. He also got double-digit targets last week. Got 10 targets, caught 6 of them for 63 yards and a touchdown. So I definitely think he has some upside, especially going against Oakland. So if I was, like I said, going to rank these two, I think both of them are probably top 10 wide receiver plays. Sanders would be a little bit more for cash games. Demaryius Thomas would be a little bit more for GPP. Definitely like both of those guys a lot, though. And then the last guy I'm going to quickly mention is going to be Nelson Aguilar for Philadelphia, only 6,100. He's just underpriced right now. There's no Jeffries still. He's the clear-cut number 1 wide receiver. He got 10 targets last week. We just seen what the number 1 wide receiver and Michael Thomas for the Saints did to the Bucs last week. So I'm not going to say Aguilar is going to have the same kind of game that Michael Thomas had, but I definitely think he can have a much better game than he did have in week 1, and I definitely think this is a solid spot for him to bounce back at a very, very good price tag. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with my quarterback and my wide receiver picks for this week. If I missed somebody or you got any questions about somebody that you're looking at that I missed, hit me in the comment section down below or send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at RotoBeast. And hey, man, let's get some money this week. We still got that in the NFL luxury box package is still at the discounted rate until this Sunday. You get it's $200. You get cash game lineups for FanDuel and DraftKings main slate all season plus playoffs, and you get full access to our optimizer, all of our tools that we have on the website. So check it out, www.dfscheatsheet.com. Hey, and that's all I got for you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.